Right now, the Catskills casino win. The state looking past the promise of a bigger payday to help the Catskills. Was it the right decision? And will the shrinking gaming market stop the new casino from ever fully paying off? Plus, fracking. It is banned in New York. A classic battle of environmental caution versus big profits. Did Governor Cuomo make the right call? And then Obama's embrace of Cuba. Is it a win for Cuban people or just the Castros? And later, Sony pulls the interview after threats from hackers tied to North Korea. Did the entertainment giant cave in to terror threats? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to RFL. I'm Richard French. Thank you so much for joining us for what promised to be a pretty busy hour. But first up, we're going to start with casinos, specifically the Catskills Casino. New gaming board, state gaming board, yesterday, choosing a casino proposal in the aging Catskills region, leaving what many say could have been a mountain of money on the table, or would have been if they went to Orange County. Now let's begin with some key sound bites from yesterday. Chairman of the Placement Committee on why they went away from Orange. Top man in Sullivan County government on what's next for the Catskills, and also some disappointed folks in Orange after hearing their casino dreams went up in smoke.
Some of the casinos in Orange County had additional issues related to secret, related to environmental impact, related to community opposition, and related to financing. It was a conglomeration of other issues. It wasn't just a blanket exclusion of Orange.
We've been looking for this for 40 years, over 40 years. We were the destination attraction or vacation area in New York State for years and years and years. If there's one thing that Sullivan County knows, it's hospitality and tourism. We're ready to go. Can't wait to start.
You're disappointed?
I am. I thought it would be bringing more jobs to Warwick. Hopefully it would help that town out.
Well, statewide, let's review the bidding. There could have been 4 casinos, but they went with 3. And these casinos approved yesterday when you look at the map here. Lago Resort and Casino, entire New York, and the Rivers Casino and Resort in the Mohawk Harbor in Schenectady. In addition to the Montrain Resort Casino in Thompson and Sullivan County. Now, here, pardon the pun, but no rolling the dice with tonight's panel. We hit the jackpot. Richard Brodsky. Yeah, there we go. So congratulations already. Former Democratic New York State Assemblyman, now senior fellow at Demos, professor at NYU, and full-fledged member of the media. Dominic Carter, political journalist and author. Tim Rooney Jr., he is the general counsel and COO for food and beverage for Yonkers Racing Corporation, which runs Empire City Casino, a racino that was excluded from the New York casino process for now. And also Gary Pretlow, Democratic Assemblyman from Mount Vernon. He's also chairman of the Assembly Committee and Racing and Wagering. And Andrew Whitman, our senior political correspondent. Andrew was in the Capital District yesterday. Fair to say, Andrew, there was some surprises. Some folks did not think it would go down the way it went. I'm curious, first of all, were they surprised it was 3, not 4, and also surprised where they went?
There was really an assumption that there were going to be 2 casinos picked in the Hudson Valley Catskills region. Within the room, there was certainly a lot of surprise that it only went to the Catskills. But over the last few months, as I've been researching this and doing stories for newsbreakers on Fios One, a lot of people had a lot of different opinions as to where they thought the casinos would wind up going. So there were mostly surprised in terms of there was Catskills and Catskills only, but it wasn't universal surprise. There were certainly people who thought that's the way it was going to go.
We're going to break this into 2 conversations. This segment, talk about the present, and then we're going to get to the future. Well, Assemblyman, I ask you, obviously you heard all the rumors. You're much closer to it than most of us here. At the end of the day, somebody wasn't going to be unhappy, but there was 2 competing interests, right? There was the promise of bigger paydays the more south you got versus the more needed communities, if you will, in the Catskills and in different parts of the state. Do you think the committee struck the right balance?
Absolutely. The legislative intent was always for economic development in depressed areas of the state of New York, to promote tourism, to bring people from the city to other places. The proposal that was made for the three proposals for Orange County, all 3 of them would have hurt downstate, would have hurt the downstate region, would have hurt the racino at Yonkers Raceway badly. I'm glad that they saw past the offer that Genting made. I mean, they offered almost 10 times more than any other entity for a license. They offered $450 million for a one-time licensing fee, as compared to others who were offering $35 to $60 million. They offered $450 million. And I was hoping, praying that they wouldn't go for the short buck and not look at what the economic impact would be on basically Westchester County, where we live. Yonkers Raceway contributes, or they don't contribute, but they help generate $350 million a year.
So let me ask you, since we're talking about you like you're not in the room, were you doing cartwheels around 2 o'clock yesterday?
We had a collective sigh of relief, that's for sure.
How much would it have hurt if especially the Genting proposal in Orange, in fact, got built?
It would have hurt us quite a bit. I mean, we'd just be guessing, but we were figuring it was probably at least 20%. And look, we're not afraid of competition. We have Genting right across 50 miles from us. But they've got the same games and the same tax rate. This is a whole different animal with, better games, a much lower tax rate, and they can use that to entice customers that we wouldn't be able to reach. So it was a real threat to us. We were very relieved.
Was it how it seemed from the outside that this thing was really under wraps and people didn't know really until 2 o'clock yesterday, or did some of the stuff leak out?
If it did, I certainly didn't hear it.
We didn't either.
You could ask, 10 different people who are pretty plugged in up there, and you'd get 10 different answers or thoughts of what was going to happen. So I think they really kept it under wraps.
Richard, for people, if they remember when that became a ballot initiative and the way that it was crafted in the language, it was like, if you love motherhood and apple pie, you'll vote yes for the following referendum, that if you want to save jobs and all the rest. That said, from the way the governor originally posited it to what we got yesterday, did he deliver on what he said? We'll see what happens in 2 years.
Fortunately, he did not. He delivered on what was right, not on what he said. He handled this with at that time, a sort of a consistent brutality of style and language that was not in anyone's interest. But to his credit, and this is where the rubber meets the road, I think the decision that was made by his folks was probably the right decision. It was, I think, you got to listen very carefully, because although all of us love the Yonkers Racino and the Raceway, I don't know that was the key issue. If they had built that Orange County facility, the plans for 4 more casinos in the downstate area would have been economically crippled.
And that's 7 years from now, right?
It is, but it's good that people are looking that far ahead. On balance, the state could not have supported 4 casinos, I don't think. 3 was the right number. On balance, the regions they're going are, as Gary said, where the economic development is needed. The additional benefit of having our own homegrown favorite son protected is good. The governor had as good a day yesterday as he's had in 6 months.
If you looked at it from a pure business standpoint, Dom, you would have said, if you were betting your own money, now forget about maybe cannibalizing, it might have hurt Yonkers, it certainly would have hurt any of the other casinos if they were within another 60-mile radius of it. Orange County, both the bidder and the surrounding area, probably would have delivered the most revenue. That wasn't what the only consideration was, just like Richard said. I mean, I saw the Ulster County executive throw their hands up yesterday. The Newburgh mayor, looked like they just lost the ping pong ball in the NBA draft when it was called. There's unhappy people yesterday, but I guess it was inevitable.
Well, basically, they did lose the lottery draft, if we want to phrase it that way. But my key issue is oversaturation, which I believe Mr. Brodsky was talking about. If there's a casino in Orange County, why would you go up to the Catskills? Why would you go up further if you're coming from New York City? And let's not forget, we have the casino right there in Yonkers, but let's not forget that people have the option of driving an hour to Pennsylvania, plus they have the added issues of shopping for very little, no tax on clothing under, I believe, like $200 or $300. So there are added incentives to go out of state to Pennsylvania.
Well, you touched on exactly where we're going next, because when we come back from the break here, we're going to look to the future of gaming. Richard mentioned here that 7 years from now, there could be more casinos in southern New York. There's a possibility casinos could go to northern New Jersey. Massachusetts made a decision on Election Day. There'll be casinos casinos there and obviously the existing casinos here. Dominic said the word of oversaturation. Where is the industry going? Tim and the table are going to help me out with that question right after this. Now, we ask you at home, be a part of our conversation. Head over to Facebook and Twitter and share us your thoughts. Will the Montrain Casino in the Catskills be enough to help that region rebound?